Speaking of supplements, you mentioned that in the book that you co-authored as well. What are some things that people might be surprised to know about vitamins and supplements?
They've come a long ways. I mean, as a cottage industry, frankly, the dietary supplement industry had been really the Wild West, and people were making stuff in their basement. But if you, I would encourage, and if you get the opportunity to tour a nutritional supplement, a professional nutritional supplement facility, sometimes it's exactly the same as drug manufacturing. It's high level, high business. It's people who have been doing this work, sourcing the very best raw materials, testing on site, testing the end product, very rigorous testing and analysis, and then working with physicians and scientists to actually formulate what actually goes into this thing, rather than just let's hope for the best. That old folk remedy stuff is kind of done, and now it's the nutraceutical science is present for us.
How would you advise someone where to start on picking? I mean, you can go into stores and just see walls and walls and walls of every supplement under the sun.
Sure.
Where do you go to start?
Walls and walls of supplements in stores are best for the already healthy population. And if you're suffering from conditions, have medication usage that you want to use or you need to use, it's best to really work with somebody that's qualified to just help guide you. Maybe it doesn't need to be a long-term relationship. Frankly, maybe it's only a 1 or 2 session kind of thing. Let's get you on the right path. Let's help you make some choices, because one of the first things that I do is I take people off a bunch of supplements. Like, well, you're taking this, but that's kind of window dressing. Let's use something that's going to be more impactful. Let's save you some money first. Now, let's go through some priorities. If you have a list of 5 or 6 complaints, do those have a foundational root? Do they have one thing that's really causing all that? You might be fatigued, and you might be losing your hair, and you might be all of those things. Well, maybe it has to do with a foundational hormone issue. Let's address that rather than dipping into all these other categories. The next thing is prioritizing. Which one is most important, which one is least. I grew up on a farm, and we always thought that resources were sparse, and we never knew if there was going to be a rainy season, a dry season, or a perfect season. So you save up, and I think about everything as resources are very scarce. And so I think about it as, if you only had $50, what would you spend that best on, rather than just saying, well, this is the condition and these are the 10 things that you need.
Can you generalize that? Like I said, if someone wants to start a supplement program, are there like top 5 or top 3 must-haves that you think most people are probably deficient in anyway?
Sure. That list typically goes something to the effect of a good multivitamin, a fish oil, and maybe a probiotic. And that's for good general health. And if you're already relatively generally healthy or only have kind of minor complaints that you wouldn't see a doctor for, I think that's good advice. If you have more than just minor complaints, I'm going down a little bit different path. So I think I'll stay right there, that multivitamin, fish oil, change your oil, get a multivitamin. There is this class of adaptogenic herbs that there's a dozen of them or so. And there's different formulations. And frankly, because we live in this really high stress world, and stress has been tied to all of these different dysfunctions, and the nervous system and the endocrine dysfunction and the immune dysfunction, it might not be a bad idea, if you're not going to adopt a pretty significant meditation or prayer practice, maybe it's a good idea to use some of these adaptogenic herbs to kind of calm down that hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or the stress response system.